Hey ArcheryTalk, this is Lucas, and today I've got my review of the Darton TriTech 33. If you have been living under a rock in the archery world the last couple of years, you might not know that Darton has been absolutely on fire. They have been releasing some truly fantastic bows. I shot the Sequel 35 ST2 last year, a brilliant bow in almost every way, absolutely loved it. This is the next generation. This is the TriTech 33, and the big news is kind of teased in the name itself, and TriTech, and that's kind of designed as named after rather kind of the three different ways you can tune this bow without a bow press or anything like that. We have two of those are returning from last year. We've got the Perfect Tune system, which is a little bolt that fits in the back of the limb pocket, and you could either put it on the right or the left limb, depending what the tear is. You pull it out, and there's another one over here, same thing on the bottom. If you want to put it, you want to squeeze down on the right limb, you can, or you can put it over in the left limb, just to kind of change how the cant of the limbs goes and your cams goes, and it'll fix your left to right tears. Brilliant system. They've got the Perfect Time, which is probably my favorite individual tuning system of anything I've seen in the last couple of years. I absolutely love this. There's a little set screw here, and then you can turn this left or right to change the timing of your cams. So you can get these things synced up absolutely perfectly, as easy as can be, all without the bow press. And the new addition this year that makes it a try is their micro adjust roller guard. Another very simple system. There's a set screw here. Well, it's not even a set screw. You just kind of throw your Allen key through a hole in here to loosen it up, and then you put your Allen key, that same Allen key, back in there and make left to right changes to, again, change your arrow flight left to right, much like you're doing with here. I would think you're doing that in smaller changes on the roller guard and maybe slightly bigger changes up here in the limb pockets. But I think you could do both in whatever you need to play with. More on that in a little while. Also new this year is a kind of rubber-faced grip insert, and there's going to be a couple different options from Darton this year on that one to change the grip angle for you. The standard one that came in there from the package fits my hand really well. It's comfortable to hold, it's soft, it's kind of warm feeling, and it's very flat and narrow, which is exactly what I'm looking for out of any archery grip. So I would imagine this is going to be at or near the top of my kind of favorite grips of the year once we get all my test bows in. It hits all the tricks I'm looking for out of a bow grip. We've got Picatinny sight mount, integrate arrow rest. This is not an integrate arrow rest on here right now, but you can put that on there if you so desire. It's got a new riser this year, so I think Darton has kind of made that with the goal of adding a little bit of stiffness and reducing a little bit of vibration. I did not notice any vibration or lack of stiffness or whatever the changes were on the Sequel I shot last year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to physically tell any of those kind of changes this year, because the bow felt good to me, and those are really kind of minute changes. I suspect if you had, some kind of a sound measuring device, you could maybe pick up some small changes, but, for a person shooting behind the bow, it seems pretty, stable and normal to me. Another new change for Darton this year is with their mods on the cams. They are 1/4 inch adjustable draw mods now. It's a rotating mod, so you only need the one to get through the whole draw length range. This one goes from 25.5 to 31 inches. On the 33 version, there's a 31, there's a 35. There's really a TriTech for just about every purpose for you this year. The axle length on this particular bow is 33 3/16 inches, and it's got a brace height of 6 3/8 inches. So those are the basic numbers on this bow. Let's talk now basic setup. So I've put my HHA kind of sight here on the Picatinny mount, and I've got a new Code Red arrow rest on here, at least new to me, and my classic Hamsky Raptor peep and a 1/4 inch on there, and that's pretty much all I've added to this bow. And with the setup, my goal was to really play around with all the tuning systems and get this thing as fine-tuned as I could right away. And it turns out I didn't have to do any of that. I shot this bow through paper. Right after I got it, I literally all I did was eyeball it. I put my arrow rest and I set it up, and I made sure it was running kind of parallel through the burger holes. And just did all that, and then it shot an absolutely perfect bullet hole through paper. I got a little photo of that for you. It might change over time for me if I do some long range group tuning. You can really, a bullet hole is a starting point for me, and not even a fantastic starting point at that, but it's at least lets people kind of get a good place to start. And so that'll change a lot for most people if you're playing with broadheads and they're not flying right. My goal is not to have a perfect bullet hole. My goal is to have broadheads hitting with each other. So that'll be the plan going forward. This bow is to really fine tune it and see how it goes. But right now, I can't complain about anything. I really wanted to see all the things I could do with this bow, and I didn't really get to play with any of it, except for the timing a little bit, just to get the cams perfectly timed up for me. So that's nice out of the box. The draw length in the 30-inch spot is maybe 3/8 or so long. So keep that in mind. I think when I do the speed test with all the hunting bows together this year, I'll probably knock that down to the 29 3/4 inch spot, so it'll be a little more than 30 inches, just to keep it fair. I don't mind giving bows about 1/4 inch of wiggle room, but I don't want to get anything more than that realistically. I want to have them on a level playing field when I'm doing the comparative speed test. Draw cycle and hold on this bow are as fantastic as you might imagine. This bow, again, that 33-inch axle-to-axle length is right in my wheelhouse. That 32 to 34 inch is really what I'm looking for at a hunting bow, and it's a super stable shooting platform. I absolutely love it. It'd be even better when you're using like about a 12-inch stabilizer with maybe 3 or 4 inches of weight out front. That'll really clear up any kind of shakiness you might see it at longer ranges. But this bow is fantastic. It's a fantastic shooting bow. The bow also comes with 2 sets of mods. So you get the standard mods and you get speed mods that come with the bow. You don't have to pay any extra to get those mods. The standard mods have an advertised speed of 334 to 335, and the speed mods have an advertised speed of 339 to 341 feet per second. So I've managed to play with both of those sets of mods. I did a draw cycle video a little while ago going over both of those mods with you. Let's cut to that now, and we'll kind of see how this bow feels to draw. As I mentioned, it's time to talk draw cycle, and this bow, as set up now, currently has the standard mods that came on here. I will test with the speed mods in just a little bit, but let's run through the draw cycle with these standard mods. And it's a throwback to how I felt the Darton bow I shot last year was, which is fantastic bow to draw. And the thing that sets it apart for me is just how linear the draw cycle is. From the moment you start pulling back the string till you hit the wall, it does not feel like it stiffens anywhere. It does not feel like it dumps off into a big valley anywhere. It is just a smooth, easy bow to draw. After the shot, it's a crisp sounding shot. I wouldn't say in any way loud. Very minimal vibration in the hand. Again, as we mentioned earlier in the video, Darton's got a new riser material built in here. New riser design rather, and it's part of that design is to help it stay stiffer and help it stay, less noisy vibration. As far as I know, they're doing fine. I didn't notice that was a big problem last year with any of the Dartons I've shot. So this year, no difference. It just, they know how to make a bow that draws really nice. And last year, this bow pretty much nailed its advertised speed. So I'm excited to see if it can do that. I will say it doesn't feel like it can do that. Again, with this standard mod, that should advertised speed is, I think, around 334, 335. It feels unlikely it's going to get there just because the draw feels so nice, but I've been fooled before, even earlier this year with another bow brand, and Darton in the past. But kudos to Darton for just making a bow that draws nice. It's a really stable feeling platform beyond just draw cycle itself. The bow holds on target well. And then you've got some options with the draw stops to give you different let-off values. I've got the higher let-off here, but if you wanted a bit more, a shorter valley, you could use the bigger let-off mods. But for now, it's just how I like the bow set up as is. It's pretty freaking nice. Let's see what it feels like with the speed mods. So I've installed the speed mods on the bow right now, and it has definitely changed how the draw cycle feels on the TriTech here. It's not the same smooth draw. There's definitely a hump right there to get over a little bit. It's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. You're getting extra speed, and you're gonna have to pay for that. But it definitely comes at a bit of a price. Overall, I mean, I don't know, unless the chronograph numbers are outrageous, I don't see why I would move away from the standard mods personally with the long draw length, but we'll talk more about that after we get the chrono results. But for now, yeah, let's throw a couple arrows down range. If this is going to come close to its advertised numbers, that's a pretty good feel of a draw cycle anyway. It's just got that, it stiffens up in that midway through the draw, and then you can feel a noticeable hump into the valley after that, unlike the standard mods, which are just smooth all the way through. Absolutely love that. If someone told me I was going to shoot a speedboat that's going to approach 340 feet a second, and this is going to be the draw cycle, I would definitely expect that and accept it without any issue. The other draw was so nice But I want to put those mods back on right now, personally. Yeah. Let's set the chronograph up right now and we'll discuss those results in just a minute. After I shot the draw cycle videos, I went over to the chronograph and I tested this bow with the draw length set to, as I mentioned, you know, in the 30-inch spot on here, which was 30 3/8, 70 pounds. The limbs were pretty much maxed out at 70 pounds for me this year, so I didn't have to make any big changes there. And with a 350 grain arrow with the standard mods, I saw speeds of 334 feet per second every time I shot it. That is absolutely bang on advertised speed. With a heavier 455 grain arrow, I saw speeds of 295 feet per second every time I shot it. That is insane speed out of a bow that felt that good to draw. Again, I mentioned in that video that I might be a little surprised if this bow reached its advertised speed, and it reached it. That's 2 bows in a row for me in testing this year that have kind of, not only have they reached their advertised speed, but they did it with a bow that felt fantastic to draw. Again, I don't know if my internal draw cycle gauge is broken after years of really being pretty correct, bang on when I'm shooting a bow. I could tell how fast it is. This bow, I could not, to be fair. With the speed mod, as I mentioned also in that video prior, it's not as nice of a draw cycle, but it does give you a little extra speed. And with the 350 grain arrow, I saw speeds of 341 and 340 feet per second. Absolutely, again, nailing its advertised speed. And with that heavier 455 grain arrow, I got speeds of 300 feet per second. Again, as I also mentioned in the draw cycle video, I would personally have no need for the speed mods on this bow. The draw feels still okay with the speed mods, but it feels so freaking perfect with the standard mods, and I'm getting awesome speed with it anyway. I just don't see any reason for me to ever have the speed mods on here except for doing speed tests. So I'll probably keep it on there until I do the multi-bow comparison speed test. But beyond that, the standard mods are perfect for me. If you are a shorter draw length archer and are really chasing a few extra feet per second, by all means go ahead and get those speed mods. It's just not my cup of tea. Beyond that, I think that's about all I got. I've really, really enjoyed my time with the TriTech 33. This bow is fantastic. Darton is, again, hitting it out of the park lately with making fantastic bows. And price-wise, this bow is about $1,350, which is, pretty much standard for a flagship level bows these days. Maybe even a little less than some of the other brands that you've seen around that are pushing $1,500 on non-carbon bows. So it's a fantastic bow in virtually every way. I can't wait to shoot more of it. I can't wait to see how it does against all the other bows in the shootout in the next month or two, depending how many more bows I get in. So for now, Archery Talk, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel an awful lot, and we'll see you soon.